Three, two, one. We're live. Here we go. It is the local support meeting at the new earlier time. We've also having clock changes in various parts of the world recently, so confusion reigns. But yeah, so we've got the meeting structure. We're doing this weekly. I noticed that the like the Phoenix One folks, they've decided to go with like a 2-weekly thing. This is, you know, in the agile flow, we can potentially change what we do. What I'd like to start with is probably just a little time on retro and looking back. Was it, I think, Brent, 2 weeks ago we met and did a bit of a retro, didn't we?
Yes, yes.
And I'm just wondering if I can find the notes on that. I don't know.
They were in Slack.
They were in Slack. That's probably the place to go, really. Yeah, let me share my screen here, and we'll get in the local support. And here we go. Yeah, so I think I seem to remember we generated a lot of action items, and then I was off for a week, and I wonder if I'm just going to look back at them and say, oh yes, all of those things we should have done and have yet to do. We will see. Let's see if I can come on Slack back into the history. There we go. We've got the new calendar coming in from Sigu. Here we go. Here was so it was just Brent and myself a couple of weeks back. Yeah, so one of the main action items was to try and work out a better time for the meeting. So which we've done. Is it Lianzong? So is this a good time for you each week?
Yeah, for me it's great.
Yes.
That's great. So I think we've doubled the attendance through that. So I think we can say we've done that. We had Brent. I think you had continuing to look at some of the stale tickets. We've got do you have more for me to review now, or?
So there's a few that I think we can close.
Yeah.
And I've got a couple which I think I've gone stale, and they probably just need an update on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we can maybe look through those, once we've gone through the retro.
Okay, great. Yeah. Well, and then I think the other action item for me was to improve contributing MD and also to get some pull request templates in, which I have not yet done. So I'm going to move that up. I'm just going to save that until I've got like a separate to-do list that I have that I often miss things for. But yeah, that was a very good suggestion last time from Brent about getting some of those pull request templates in. So I guess there's an opportunity now. If people, do we have any other thoughts about how we'd like to change the flow? Any other comments or just on how the project's running at the moment?
If nobody else has, I've got a couple of things.
Yeah, go on, Brent.
First one is, and this may be documented somewhere in one of the other repos, but I've not been able to find it. So in Pivotal Tracker, we've got a number of like status tags, like I know start, and there's some obvious ones. It'd be really good if we could understand in terms of this project,
yes,
what the other statuses mean. So things like deliver, I mean, I'm sure the self-explanatory, but it would be nice to just understand what that workflow looks like in Pivotal, and what each status command is actually means from a point of view of this project. The other thing that I guess it's a personal thing, but obviously I'm still learning Ruby on Rails, so there's limited tickets that I can work on. What I've noticed in some of the other channels for some of the other projects, they sort of have regular pairing sessions where one or more, a couple or more of the volunteers working on the project will have like, an hour a week or a couple of hours a week where they just get on a pairing session and just work through some tickets. And I just wonder if that's something we can maybe do for local support. It's definitely something I would like to do and be interested in. I just don't know if it would work for the other people who are involved in the project.
That's a really interesting idea. And so that would be sort of like setting a pairing time, like obviously we've got the meeting time, but setting a time where it's just like, okay, anybody turns up can do some pairing at that time. Is that the idea?
that's the idea. So it's more of a formal time slot, and so
Right.
people can come in, and we can, it might even be that in this meeting we plan some of the tickets that we'd want to look at in that pairing session.
Sure, that sounds like a great idea. Yeah, I think we should definitely investigate setting that up. Yeah, two great points there, Brent. Anything else on your mind?
Not at the moment, no. I guess whilst I'm talking, I may as well continue.
Sure.
So the other thing is what is one of the suggestions I made a few weeks ago about maybe. So let me just share my screen. Actually, that's probably the best way.
I'm just gonna take a layer. It's a bit too hot here.
Yeah. So what I did was I did a search for all of the stories that have got type bug. There's 39 of them, which I've not gone through them all, and some are very, they're not critical.
No.
But I just wonder if we need to maybe again formalize a way of working through these bugs. On other projects I've worked on, bugs sort of get priority unless they aren't really bugs, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
Just in a way to sort of focus and clear up tickets.
Yeah, that's good to have that in the notes. Lots of great ideas there. Yeah, and I mean, I could certainly talk to some of this. I won't do that immediately. What I was just going to say is, particularly for Lianzong, since we haven't had you in the meeting, are there any thoughts you have on the project and how it runs, or just things that you need help with today, Lianzong?
Oh, just one thing. August and I pushed the final commit, and after that, we found that we something should fix it. I have fixed it in the code, but still not passed.
Okay, so you've got some tests that are not passing. So GitHub is suddenly being very slow. There we go. I would just so maybe one of the things we can do today is look at this is
local events.
Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, so we'll definitely try and have a look into that. We are having some problems with our CI at the moment that may be the tests are passing locally for you, Lianzong?
Cucumber, yes, is okay.
Passing locally, yeah, failing on CI. Okay, yeah. So that's definitely something we want to get resolved today. And then Nicola, do you have any questions about the project at all at this stage? Things that you need answered to get involved, or?
Yeah. To get involved, I would like to know. I mean, I can read it and all, but I would like to know where can I start, like the little issues that I can work on, and to start right away. I don't know if you have any.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I think we can answer those questions. Yeah, well, I think that's what we sort of retro, lots of different things there. I'm just trying to think if there's anything that's particular from me. Is just, I mean, I'm worried about the CI and wanting to get PRs closed. So I think that gives us a little agenda for the meeting. I mean, I'll just paste that into Slack directly. We've got that there for reference. Yeah, let's just sort of quickly go through these. So the status tags, yeah, they're like, I'll just mention on that we do have, let's see if I can find it. We've got a general Agile Ventures document that uses, gosh, what's it called, LocalSupport as the example for how the project kind of runs. And I think we've got it in here, and it's called, is it working on a project? Yeah, this is the one here. And so this is kind of an overview of how we use the tickets in LocalSupport.
Perfect.
I'll just pop that in a couple of chat things there. But I think what I might just do is, if we go to Pivotal, I can maybe quickly talk about in context there, the way that we use these status tags, and then it gets on the recording, and then you've got the document for reference later on. But so basically the idea is that the only person who ever presses accept or reject is the client, and we have a client, Volunteer Action Hire Cooperative, and when I have, I'll probably have a meeting next week with them, and usually I'll be pushing it on their behalf. But so anytime an item is in this state, we're kind of, it sort of relies upon, we should get a sign off from the customer that they are ultimately happy with things. Things can be in other states. The finish button, if we're set up correctly, we would never need to press the finish button. We've got, if I can find, let's go to we've got like a pivotal hook set up so that if we have the correct tag in our commit ID, it's here, then, so if you say finishes the number of the pivotal ticket that it corresponds to, then what that means is that when that PR is merged, automatically it will be moved from the finished state into the state where it shows the finish tag into the state where it shows the deliver. Does that make sense, Brent?
It does, yeah. So finish then moves into deliver. Got you. Okay.
Yeah. And then so I will press it, like I do the DevOps for it. When I roll the thing out onto production, that's when it's considered deliver. So when I actually get it onto and then and only then can the client actually ultimately accept or reject it.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because what I'm thinking of doing when I get a bit of time is actually building a workflow diagram for this.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So so it's
yeah. So but I think that would be fantastic. So we've got I'm going to go and edit things in here. We can say, I mean, no rush or pressure, but yeah, workflow diagram. I mean, what we also, I've got these different things that are sort of spread out over other places, is kind of making sure that all the documentation is up to date and these things are more easy to find. I think it's a great, I love this idea of there being a regular sort of time. I've put an action item in for that. We won't maybe discuss it now, but we can work out when would be the best time. Yeah, there's a lot of, what we could be doing, to address the bugs is trying to have like a bug fixing sprint or what have you.
Yeah, I was thinking as a minimum, even if we just start to vote on them in these sessions, so we get a feeling of whether they are just silly, stupid things.
Yeah.
They are major things, and then we can understand how better to prioritize them as well.
Yeah, that's right. So we can maybe do some voting in a minute. We will see how far we get. Yeah, Lianzong, if your thing is ready, then yeah, it's basically the issue is mine, that we've got these CI problems, which we'll maybe look at more. To address Nicola's question, so the key thing to get started is one, to have the project running locally or in C9 with the tests passing. We do now have, and this was Sigu suggested this to us the other week, I think we now have a beginner-friendly tag. If I can find it.
I see it in the middle.
Yeah, yeah, there we go. Yeah, so we'll try and add more of those. What I'll also say is that the general idea of the organization here is that we've got the current iteration here is stuff that's in progress. So things that are here and they're ready for accept reject, you can look at them and be interested in them, but there's nothing particularly to contribute. Things that are in this state, oh, go on. You can see my screen, all right? Yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, and so things that are in this state where they still have the finish button, this is showing us basically somebody who has been working on something, but it's not finished. And so actually, when I look at this one, I think that's the wrong person in the owner there. It's Francis, but I don't even know if it's the right person. So what we've got there actually is a pull request that corresponds to this. So in principle, you know, if something is not yet finished, it means that there's somebody working on something. That's this person here, and you can kind of go in there and you could offer to help. I mean, we've basically this person kind of got stuck, and then they were saying, what were they saying? They said like 20 days ago that they might be able to work on it in another month. You can kind of, you know, if we're at our best, then we've got, you know, the individual tickets in here will be linked up to, yeah, I mean, I've got, I think that's started by, I've got a note there to say this person has started that. If you're keen to work with somebody, then reaching out to individuals, you know, who've got items in the current iteration that have got the finish button next to them, that's a great way to connect to people, say, oh, how's it going? Can I help you with that item or what have you?
Cool.
Yeah, things that have got the deliver next to them imply that they've been kind of merged and there's no more work needed on them. So, but so for example, I think we've got here like the event calendar view. I think Sigo might have enthusiastically got it up to, I don't know if we've actually merged it yet. So go back to here. We can see, okay, no, maybe I did merge it. Right, so it's not, but I haven't rolled it out to production yet. So it should sensibly be in the, yeah, it should be in the finished state there, so ready to be delivered. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, we're a big group of like volunteers working on it. So
yeah,
you know, we're trying to keep it all together. It also, you know, gets mixed up. So
yeah.
But continuing from that, what you can see here is a pattern here where some of the items have different like levels of difficulty. So if something's got like one blue bar there, it means it's supposed to be relatively easy. If it's got 2, that's kind of medium. And then, for example, if we've got any 3s, I mean, there's no open 3s, but this one here was a 3, you know, so that's to give an indication. So for all of the chores, that's the thing with the cog, bugs or stories, they've all been voted by the team as how difficult they are. And so what I would say as a beginner is it's great to get into, you know, 1-point bug and chore stories, and particularly those marked with beginner friendly. So go on.
I will start with
yeah, good stuff. So what we could probably do to help that process now is maybe do some voting on some of these bugs, and you know, mark them up as beginner friendly or not, and so on and so forth. I was just going to go back to our little agenda schedule there, and I don't know if yet. Yeah, we'll look at the CI thing later. Let's kind of maybe just address this. I think we can kind of get 2 birds with 1 stone to get this and this sorted out. So yeah, I just added a new bug, which I happen to add straight into the backlog. The difference here is we've got the backlog. Usually they should be stories that are voted and they're in priority order. The ISPOC is like random stuff, and in principle you can come to this meeting, or I'll show you in a minute how you can start a vote on anything that you would like to work on, but ideally you get something voted on before you start working on it, just to help everybody know what's going on.
Okay.
So yeah, this was in investigating the CI fails yesterday. I noticed that our develop server, our develop branch was failing, but only in batch mode. So this, I don't know, I'm not sure what's happening with the CI. Because I was unsure about what's happening with the CI, I pulled all of the code from the develop branch locally, and I found that there was a couple of tests in the events spec file that when I ran in batch, they would fail. But when I ran like just the single file or the single tests, they would pass.
I was looking at this briefly, Sam. Is it?
Oh,
and I was thinking something we did a few weeks ago on the RSpec mob, where when the tests run, they run in random order.
They do, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if those ones that are failing is because they rely on a previous step, and for whatever reason they're running out of order.
Yes, I mean, yeah, indeed so. Although they do seem to be consistently failing. These are the 2. Maybe make this bigger so we can see that. Come on. Here we go. These are the 2 tests that are failing. They have been recently updated. A couple of people have touched them recently. I'm just unclear. I was. It's obviously very difficult with tests when you have these intermittent failures. Rather than kind of get into them in detail yesterday, what I decided to do was mark them as pending using this X, just so that the develop branch would be green and people who were trying to do other stuff wouldn't get confused. I wouldn't normally do that, except that the entire events epic is not actually live. You know what I mean? We're like, no end users can currently experience any of this functionality. So I kind of thought, let me just take that out of people, you know, so that most people are confused, and we'll have a ticket on it and we can vote on it and we can move forward from there. So I guess I would love to get this voted on. Does anybody have any questions about the problem here or what's going on or anything at all?
No.
So, oh, go on, Brent.
Now saying I was good.
Yeah. So what we'll do actually, and this is then should be hopefully of interest for Nicola. So the process that we have for voting, we actually have this another project that we have. We have a little voting kind of bot. So this is event spec tests failing in batch mode. So anybody can kind of come into the channel and start a vote like this.
Okay.
And then, so we have it set up so that we can kind of, the idea is that we discuss it, and then we can vote, you know, simple, medium, or hard, depending upon how difficult we think it is going to be to address this issue. My rule of thumb generally is that, you know, like if we're voting on a feature, that simple is just like, it's a change to the view. If it's going to involve some database changes, maybe it's a 2, or it's a new gem, it's a 2. If it's going to be change the database and, you know, do some production data migration and then several new gems that we don't know if they even work or not, then that's hard. Or you can just, if you're not sure, you can say no opinion. And the idea is it's kind of this planning poker thing, so that rather than the person who first says, yeah, that's really hard, and everybody just agrees with them, we kind of vote in parallel, but in secret, and then we all reveal together is the idea. So Brent's gone ahead and voted. Lianzong, I think, yeah, if you're in the channel. Nicola, are you in the local support Slack channel already?
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah. So then, in principle, you can go ahead and click on any one of these buttons.
Okay, I will put no option because
no opinion.
I don't really.
Yeah, if you're not sure, that's a perfectly reasonable thing to do. So what we usually try and do is we don't do reveal until we have at least 3 votes. I think if you've told us already, it's no opinion. Maybe Lianzong.
Yeah.
Do you think Lianzong? Will you be able to vote on this ticket?
Yes, but I'm not sure it's hard or simple. Maybe it's hard for me.
Sure. Well, and either way, it's. I mean, there's no one's going to come back and say afterwards, "Hey, you voted wrong." It's all just, you know, it's like part of the whole point of the vote is really to provide structure to the discussion and get everybody's opinion in. But so, Lianzong, if you want to guess, you know, whether it's hard or medium, you know, go right ahead and press that button. I was just going to look. Did we have any other outstanding votes from before that we had? I think no, that was website 1 where we've got lots of.
Oh, I hit the button, but nothing happened. Maybe the connect is all about the net.
I would be, yeah, that's interesting. I mean, obviously you're connected to us via the thing, so but you're in the correct channel, Lianzong, and you tried pressing one of the buttons.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if it didn't, that's the first time I've heard of that. And you pressed the button, and there was just nothing, and no error message.
No, it's connecting.
Okay, but so maybe local support. I'm sorry, the Slack is doing connecting. Well, we probably shouldn't let that slow us down. I guess I'm going to go ahead and click reveal there, because I think, but you sort of, Lianzong, you said that you thought maybe hard. Brent and I have both gone for medium. Lianzong, you were thinking hard. You think it would be hard for you to address the issue?
Yeah, I think it's hard.
Yeah, and of course it's different for different people. Like, you know, how difficult it is for someone's going to depend upon their okay. It looks like we just got it right. I think there was like a slow connection there. First time I've seen that happen. Can I now reveal? Okay, there we go. And now we get the updated with Lenzong's vote. Yeah. So it's an interesting one there. You know, that's one of the questions about when we're voting on it. Like, you know, how difficult would it be for one person versus another person? Part of the idea is that everybody should be able to get help from each other if they're stuck on things. So the idea with the planning poker is if we'd all agreed on one item, we would just like move on. What we're supposed to do, if we have, you know, an outstanding thing there, is sort of, you know, have a discussion about why it's one or another, and then potentially move backwards and forwards. I guess, is it, Lenzong, is it because you're not so familiar with RSpec that you think it might be hard?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, of course, Brent, you've been doing the RSpec mob recently, and I guess that's maybe increasing your confidence in addressing these issues.
Yeah, I was sort of thinking it might even be simple, but then I thought fixing it might be simple, but finding the root cause might not be.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of these things, when you have something that fails in batch, it means that your debug cycle is much, much slower. So the very funny thing with it is, you know, I can run the entire, I mean, this is the other thing, is normally I can kind of scan RSpec things and see why they would be an issue. I mean, in this one, you know, we kind of seem to be setting up for these, like Factory Girl creates this set of, it's creating this list. I mean, it's sort of, yeah, like really the database should be being cleared in between each of the test runs. So it's difficult to imagine what's hanging around and sticking there. And it's going to be a slow process to figure out if any changes one has made have actually fixed the issue.
Yeah.
But I think what I'm going to propose is that let's go with, shall we go with, if Brent was sort of thinking of it simple, let's go with medium. Yeah. But I think it's probably also, it's not really a beginner friendly one, I would say. Yeah. This is kind of a bit of a tricky one. Well, could be tricky. I mean, we're always hoping that they're, not that tricky, but so let's put 2 points on that and close that. I mean, so the interesting thing in priority, this is sort of up to us. Like the client will not really have opinions on those. The client is setting, you know, the priority for the features, but it's sort of up to us if we think, you know, which of these things is high priority. I guess we'll just leave them there for the moment. Should we try and vote on another couple more bugs?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just going to grab the first ones off the top of the icebox that are not voted on. Okay. So we've got a UX bug with Volops search, and I think actually, have you already submitted a pull request to fix this, Brent?
Not that one, I don't think.
Okay, different one maybe. Okay.
Yeah, oh, it might be, because is that the button issue on that one?
It's something about only one Volop is currently there, but all the Volops for the site show up, and it's not clear which one is even the elderly op.
No, that's a different one.
Okay, different one. Yeah, I wasn't even aware of this one. So we've got, so this is UX bug with Volop search. And that's the, I think that's the story. Let's just have a look. We've got, there's a great bug report here by Michael. We've got, so we've done a search for elderly there. Okay. Okay. So I think the point here is that in the Volops, it's filtering the list, but not it's filtering the list, but not the map.
Yeah.
And it's not, yeah, for some reason the pop-up is not working. Like what's supposed to happen is when you mouse over, it pops it up, but sometimes they don't have an address, and yeah. So, go on.
So is this to just pop up to identify it, or is it to reduce the pins that are on the map, or both? Do we know?
Well, I think that's us. It's clearly a somewhat confusing situation. And I mean, I'm kind of, if I come in here, I I wonder if it means it. I'm just thinking if I do a search for form, like, interesting. Like, at the moment,
it doesn't seem to be working at all, does it?
No, that's something I thought. Let's have a look at the console. I mean that when I loaded the whole page, it gave us. So that works. That works.
Yeah, there's a fixin for that mixed content.
Yeah, and so these are. It's sort of work. Okay, I guess we've got maybe in a situation where, I don't know if that. Oh, I just again my computer's a bit ridiculous. So if I do Control F and we search for that particular form one. But yeah, it certainly seems like this is one of those things that doesn't have a latitude longitude. And it's maybe one of a number that doesn't have a latitude longitude. And if we come back up here, but yeah, these are. So I think, I mean, this sort of relates. It's an individual bug there that Michael experienced in that way. It sort of relates to that issue that we have with the data that's coming in from the third party do it. That's making it look like a sizable number of them don't have the latitude longitude data. And in that situation, like the map can be confusing in that it's, you know, jumping around for some of them and not for others.
Can you just look at the elderly, if you just highlight the elderly one again in the search text?
In here. Like that.
Yeah, so yeah, that is definitely one that's not got the.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the one of the ones I was using to test in. Yes.
Yeah.
Can you try something?
Sure.
Delete elderly.
Yeah.
Search box and press search. Control F and search for elderly. So, and try to hover the other ones that should.
Yeah. So this was. I mean, I found this one. I think you're absolutely on a good track there, Nicola. I did find I searched for form previously and was getting this one. But yeah, so when we're mousing over it, it's not moving. It's interesting actually. A lot of the ones down the bottom are not working, but if I come back up to the top,
those are working, but the others don't.
This is working. Like, I mean, I wonder. I mean, what we need to really be looking at. I don't know if there's some like. It's interesting that all the ones at the top. I mean, some of them are obviously like we're out there in the sea. They're not got sensible. And that's what happens when you get like a 0, 0. We keep on going down. There's lots that are working. I mean, it may also be that for, I don't know, the reach. Well, all of the reach skilled ones, that's the yellow ones, are, you know, they're all appearing on the map.
Yep.
I mean, we've also got the issue with like if things don't have any kind of latitude and longitude, they won't appear on the map at all, but they will still appear in the list.
Okay.
But yeah, no, there's obviously a lot of these working, and then we've got So, but then this lot, there's a whole batch of about 20 or 30 in the bottom.
That they are not working yet.
They're not. Well, they're either not working within our site, or they don't have latitude and longitude information associated with them.
Yep.
Let's just have a look at it. But we're not. I didn't want to do that. Go away. We're not. We had a problem previously that Brent and Fernando fixed, which was that the when they didn't have a latitude and longitude, it kind of broke the whole map and it stopped working. But we're not getting errors in the thing here. But yeah, all of these. There's a big load of them. I mean, I wonder if they're. That one works then. But anyway, okay. So we've got this report of this specific issue, which is maybe related to the bigger issue of no lat and long. And I wonder, can I find the ticket for that? Let me see. We've got a mention of that in that some do it ops are coming from outside Harrow. Yeah, research why some VOLOPs don't have that long. So we have we've got this investigation ticket to try and understand that better. So there's sort of different things that could go on here, aren't there? Let's put it in there and say this is related to this. So I mean, this bug, we can sort of think it could be fixed by making sure that everything has an address or geocoded. I guess it could. I don't know. I'm just trying to wonder. Do we maybe need to? We have to finish doing this research before we can fix this bug. What do you think, Brent?
I think that for it to be fully fixed, yes, but even if it was all fixed, it's still not that clear as a user experience, is it? And I think maybe we should consider, when you've done the search, it only showing locations
right
that you searched for anyway.
That makes sense. What I wonder is, right, yeah, I guess we're set up here, so it's like, yeah, I think that's the bug to fix here, is probably when you do the search, you should only show the matching ones, because that's what happens for the organizations, and the fact that it doesn't happen for the volunteer ops is confusing. So yeah, maybe should we make that this ticket, should we say that the independently of everything else, the fix that we need to make is that when you do a search, only those searched items should show up in the map for the VOLOPs?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. So let me put in here, it's like, we'll put a note to it. So agreed, the solution should be to ensure that only the matching VOLOPs appear in the map window when there is a search. So shall we go ahead and vote on that? Does anybody have any other questions or thoughts that we need to sort out before we could vote on it? While we're thinking about it, I was just thinking we could go to the code. I mean, because we do already have this functionality in the organizations display, that when people do a search in the organizations, and that's this code here, we kind of get the organizations like variable is set, and then we build the map markers off the set of organizations. I'm also kind of a little bit surprised that it's not happening. Here we go. So we can probably actually see the source of the issue here. So this is the search functionality for the volunteer ops. So yeah, you can sort of see the problem here is what's happening is that the volunteer ops, this is the set of volunteer ops, but then the markers are being built like from all of the volunteer ops. I have a feeling that the fix will be as simple as taking this and sticking it in here.
Yep, I agree.
There might be, you know, writing a bit of, you know, writing a test that properly checks that it happens. But yeah, I think it's going to be, yeah. Well, I guess we've got this it's using build by map markers in the organizations controller. Although we have got, yeah, there's a different mechanism being used. Build map markers with VOLOPs. Anyway, so you know, it looks like it might be a simple fix. As usual, it might all go horribly wrong, but you never know. So yeah, I'll just take this off to go and do my own vote on that. Lianzong, do you want to try and have a vote on that if you can?
Okay, I will vote.
And I guess while Lianzong is thinking, I would maybe say that I think this is a fairly beginner-friendly bug. Would you say, Brent?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, let's, of course, then if we all end up agreeing that it's super hard, well, anyway, provisionally, we'll say beginner-friendly. And I guess maybe Lianzong, it's interesting because it's funny that we can get like audio connection with Lianzong very fast, but then his voting seems to take a bit longer. Did you click the button already for the voting, Lianzong? Or Lianzong, did you click the button, or are you still thinking? Ah, no, you did click the button. Wonderful, great. Okay, so now we can reveal, and so we've gone for yeah. So Brent and myself thinking it's simple, Nisevi saying medium, and Lianzong saying hard. So that's kind of a nice distribution. I mean, I think obviously Brent and myself being more familiar with the system, that gives us a bit of a bias. Shall we?
Yeah.
Shall we compromise that, given that we've got the spread on medium for this one? Unless, I mean, Lianzong, why were you thinking it was a very hard one?
I'm not very clear about what this bug is.
What the bug is?
Huh.
Yeah, it's maybe difficult to follow. Yeah, well, we've kind of talked through it, and I guess rather than talking through it again, I'm tempted to say let's put it onto medium, and so this make it a beginner-friendly medium one. And I think if you do want to understand it more, Lianzong, then maybe you can read through the different points here. I'll add some more notes, like about what I think the solution will be, and maybe you can catch up with that afterwards. 1, 2, 3. There we go. This is. I think the above might, i.e., ensure that search method builds map with only the search results. There we go. All right, and so let's stick that on. Yeah, that's so now we've got a beginner-friendly 2-pointer in there, and we're working through. I guess should we maybe do one more? Brent, were you saying that there's a fix in for this already?
We have one.
I don't know if we've lost Brent there, maybe.
No, I'm back. I was on mute. Sorry.
No worries.
No, the fix was for the mixed content. That's a different one. I think we've already voted on the mixed content one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. This is something about no API keys that comes up in certain contexts. Okay. Yeah. Well, so I'm tempted to this is like Gmaps error, no API keys. I'm tempted to get one more vote done now, and then we can. The idea is that these tickets can be voted on asynchronously. Anybody can pick off a ticket, start a vote in the channel, move forward on it. There we have the daily scrums every day. We can things can be voted on there as well. Yeah, this when displaying the volunteer map within the local support site, the following warning is generated in the JavaScript console. Maybe we were just seeing that. So this is the volunteer map. Let's inspect it and see in the console. So there's the mixed content warning. Here, I'm not seeing that. Or am I? Oh, there we go. Google Maps API warning, no API keys. Right. Which is interesting because, yeah, we do have an API key in the project. We also, this project is like 5 years old now, and we got set up, I think, in a stage, we've been running a Google map so long on this endpoint. There's something about us not needing a special key. But yeah, it's worth looking at. It's, had you looked at this error already, Brenton?
Yeah, so I thought it was going to be a simple thing, but actually I think it's going to be a bit more difficult because you can't replicate it in your local environment.
Right.
So, well, I've been unable to replicate it in my local environment. It seems to be specific to the production environment.
Right. Yeah, and I'm trying to find it for you. We've had various strange things with keys
Is there a staging environment for us to use?
We do have a staging environment. We have a develop environment. We can give you access to the was it map AP?
So I think it pulls the key from the environment variable.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Gmap API key.
Yeah. So we do have. I mean, that's actually another thing that I've forgotten. A big priority from the client is reducing costs, and I'm trying to. I have now got set up the develop environment. So we've got like a development. So there's like develop.agilementors.org is. Oh no, sorry, wrong thing. Just before my break, I've got this set up now with Let's Encrypt, and so now for the first time, for a long time, develop wasn't on HTTPS, but it is now.
So yeah, I guess it'd be interesting to see if we get it on here actually.
So let's have a look here in the console. We do.
Yeah.
We also have a staging environment, which I'm on the route to getting secure, but I haven't got secure. But that's actually a big action item for me, is to like roll this through, and like I should be able to like cut our Heroku bill in a third, and the client will be very pleased about that if I can do it. And yeah, we get the same. So we're getting it on develop, staging, and production. What I would, in principle, Nicola, if you want access to develop, I mean, any pull request that you put in, when it gets merged, it automatically will get deployed to the develop environment. If you want to have it running on Heroku before then, we can switch on. There's a Heroku feature to automatically deploy to the pull request, which is a bit temperamental, so we've turned it off. But you know, if you want that, I mean, I think it would be great if it worked permanently. Also, very happy to help you get set up pushing local support to your own Heroku instance, which can be a great like learning experience in terms of all the bits and pieces. And in the past, developers have done that a lot, not so much recently, but yeah. So we were voting on this ticket, Brendan Denzong. Yeah, I guess I will go ahead and vote on that one. Nicola, you could vote or just give an opinion or whatever you feel that we've done that. Yep, let's reveal that one here. And yeah, so we've split between hard and medium. I think it's definitely not a beginner-friendly one.
No, and I think you're probably right, Sam and Lee, is that it possibly is going to be hard to find. It might be easy to fix, but it might be hard to understand why we're getting it.
Yeah, and I think there's some tricky things in terms of, as I say, like we've got some kind of grandfathered in with Google Maps where, I mean, I think it will also involve, as I say, like you're not getting it locally, it'll probably involve, you know, needing to deploy to Heroku and this and the other. So
it might be that it's something to do with like you say, a legacy contract with Google Maps, in which case it might just be that we decide not to fix it, because it's certainly not impacting the site, is it?
No, that doesn't appear to be. No.
So
yeah. Nicola, is that all right with you? Would you be willing to go with hard?
Yeah.
Good show.
I understand what you mean.
Yeah,
so,
totally. Okay. So let's pop that in as a 3-pointer there. Well, that's great. We've got a few bugs things voted on. I think we're coming up probably on the time for the meeting. I mean, I guess let's just take a quick look at where we are with the pull requests. On the note, so Brent was saying about wanting to get the bug fixes done. I'm kind of always quite keen to get the pull requests cleared out. Like I think having open pull requests is not the ideal setup. But we've got this situation of like lots of different things failing at the moment. And we'll just maybe have a look at these. So yeah, like it's basically the Travis builds are failing. Now I set up Brent the other day so that Brent is able to restart the builds. What I've been seeing is at the beginning of the builds, there's been this kind of it looks like that's a failure when it's trying to run the Jasmine tests, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It seems so. Yeah.
But then it's going on and it's running the rest of the tests. And I think what I've been seeing now is that the rest of the tests are all running through. So that's all green, 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 green. It's getting down to the end, but then it's saying build exited with 1. I assume, okay, this is, I'm just having this hypothesis now, is because these Jasmine tests are failing. So, and we've seen problems like this before. I think what I've got to do here is open a support ticket with Travis on GitHub and point to that. So GitHub Travis. I do remember having something not dissimilar to this before, and it sort of came and went. I think if we look, I wonder if there are any tickets by me. Yeah, well, there's a ticket by me, but I wonder if other people are currently. The Jasmine in here? Control F, Jasmine. Come here. Can't spell. Jasmine. Okay. I think I'm just going to open a new issue here and say, so we may not be able to, the Jasmine tests failing on Travis all of a sudden. Things have been fine for a year, but suddenly we get and I'll give them a link to the.
I think there was another when you did the search for Jasmine, there was a similar error where it unable to connect for local host.
Okay, let's pop that up and let's do on the open ones, Jasmine.
Maybe it was a closed one, but we certainly did see a similar error when you did the search previously. Ah, there you go.
Oh, okay, yep. And they're right, it was, and this is one by me.
Ah, yeah, right, okay.
We had this before, and so this was a thing here from a while ago, and I ended up putting a fix into the Jasmine gem to try and get around this, but they never would merge it in, and so I wonder, like, I think we are, let's see if I grab this, I'll just make note of that here. We did have this same issue last year. I got very confused about it at the time. We have got, where is it? So in our gem file, I think we are, the Jasmine, are we still using Jasmine? Oh, there was a point at which we had Jasmine pointing to our particular sort of fix branch, but not anymore. And I wonder if we need to upgrade Jasmine here. Anyway, I'm gonna, I think there's definitely, this is another bug, which I'm gonna put in the pivotal tracker. I don't think we need to vote on it. Trust me, this is a hard one. This is nasty. Let's just, you know, not. I don't think we need to. So this is like Jasmine CI failing. But what I can do, so like, what I can do here to kind of help Lianzong with, so Lianzong, you've been working on this search local events. So this is now, okay, so the search local events is all working for you locally, is it, Lianzong?
Yes.
That's great. I notice we've got some conflicts that need resolving, and you've also got lots and lots of files. Let's have a look. Yeah, so you've got a lot of cache files in there that maybe you don't want to have. But what I can do is I can potentially, I don't know if I've got you in my setup, but if I can find my local support, I can pull this locally to myself. Even if the CI doesn't pass, I can kind of use my override. If I did git fetch origin, oops, wrong thing, git. But so, Lianzong, do you understand about the cache files that you've got that are also in your pull request?
Cache file.
Yeah, so you see here it says files changed 101. Yeah? So you've got a lot of files, and so you've got, you know, changes to places like config routes and so on. That's fine. But then we've got lots of these things from features rec cache. The features rec cache. And this is, it's not something that you're doing wrong. It's an annoying part of our system. And it's good actually, Nicola, because you'll encounter this going forward. We've got a whole section of our contributing on this. We're using caching systems to prevent our tests from hitting external services. So we've got a whole chat on that. We do have a special method that you can use to get rid of the caches and sort of clear out. I'm not completely happy, and I don't know that we've yet found a really good solution for this. I'll just put this in here. This is particularly for. I won't go in to try and explain it now. It's kind of tricky. Maybe read the thing and come back to me and say, you know, what? Or, you know,
Yeah.
but that was my best go at describing it. There's also a description there of how to address it. The difficult thing for Lianzong now is that Lianzong's got those cached files checked in. So removing them might be a little bit tricky. What I am going to just quickly do, we're pretty much out for them. I'm going to add this repo to mine locally. So this is just so you can see if I did git, let's do that. So I'm going to git remote add Octopinky and get.
Maybe he can delete the files, make another commit, and do the rebase. So
yeah, that's or even just a merge, because we redo a rebase squash when we come in. So, but yes,
okay.
yeah, they can certainly be removed using git delete.
Yeah.
But so if I do this and then I do git fetch, I should be able to get Lianzong's branch. I just wanted to check it out actually rather than fetch. If I do like this, like that. Oh, stash the current changes. Check that out. So I've got that now locally. But so I can, for example, check that the Jasmine tests run for me locally, and if they do, then we know that I think it's a separate CI issue and not an issue with Lianzong's pull request. And I think I'm seeing that they all pass, and that's fine. But I can check that it all runs here. Yeah, and so I guess we're kind of at the end of the meeting, and I probably should take another break. We've got a scrum coming up fairly soon. I think we're a bit confused with the time changes this week. I think we've covered, excuse me, a good chunk of things that were brought up today. We've got the notes there. I guess I'm going to add in, I need to finish sorting out these let's encrypt stuff on all of the boxes. Does anybody is anybody blocked or anything? Does anybody need any help? Does anybody want to be assigned to a ticket to get started on working on it? Or
yeah, sure. I would like to.
Yeah. So if we can jump back to there. Yeah. So I think, was there anything that you saw today, Nicola, that you were interested in grabbing? Was it maybe this beginner-friendly UX bug?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So and that's
Maybe that one. Yep.
yeah. Do you have also have we added you? Is this you?
Yep.
Yep. There you are. You are now assigned, and yeah, if you want to try and find a pair partner to work on that, I guess that was the final thing. Maybe we can wrap up with that. Brent, did you have in mind a time that would be a good kind of what we call it, open pairing session for local support? I think we've lost Brent, or Brent's muted there.
Yeah, I've got a new headset and you can mute it with a little button, and I keep forgetting. Yeah, I was just thinking maybe one afternoon in the week, maybe either sort of obviously on a different day to the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
1-2 UTC time or something like that.
Yeah, maybe on a Monday. Nicola, which time zone are you in?
I mean, Germany, so I think that is to...
Yeah, I think you're an hour ahead of my...
1 hour ahead of UK, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that sounds good, Brent. I mean, I probably might not be able to make such a meeting, but I think if because I've got the automated, I mean, it'll depend week to week. I mean, all the schedules in flux now with the time changes. But yeah, I mean, if you wanted to try and do it between 1 and 2 on a Monday, yeah, we could make it so.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, I can't do this Monday, unfortunately, because I'm not about. But that's I'm sorry about that. But yeah, that's certainly for future weeks. That'd be great.
Yeah. Well, we'll
okay.
Yeah, we'll look to setting that up. But of course, Nicola, there's no need to wait. You can always reach out for help in Slack for anything you're stuck on. You know, try and find a pair partner, or do come into any of the scrums. You know, we have the scrums running twice daily: Martin Fowler Scrum, Kent Beck Scrum, and you can come in and say, oh, I'm stuck on this, and then if there's time afterwards, you know, myself or someone else can give you help and get you on Slack.
Okay.
Yeah, Nikolai, I'm generally available from lunchtime UK time in the week, so just ping me in Slack if you want to catch up together.
Perfect.
I'm not, like I say, I'm not available now till Tuesday though, because we're actually going away for the weekend. But from Tuesday onwards next week, yeah, just reach out.
Yeah, or I can write you and you will read it when you want, or when you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good stuff. Well, great meeting, everyone. It's lovely to see you again, Nicola, Lenzong. Yeah, leave this with me. I guess the last thing there is, as Nicola said, you know, it's about deleting those cache files is one thing to do. If you have trouble, I can maybe just sort of even do it for you. I think it would be great to get your pull request sorted and committed, and yeah, we'll make it happen. Okay, bye for now. Take care, everyone.
Cheers. Bye, everybody.
Bye. See you.
Bye.